On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, this is the Fight for Iowa podcast, brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy, proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Big Ten Conference. Also by Iowa's Corn Farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and Iowa Corn Promotion Board. You may think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Also brought to you by Shields. We're right there with you in Des Moines, Sioux City, Iowa City, and Cedar Falls. This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
University of Iowa head coach Clarissa Chun was recently inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, just the third female to be so honored by the Hall. Chun competed in 5 world championships, winning in 2008, and later that year she captured Olympic bronze in London. Chun also won 4 titles at the Pan Am Games. Now she'll funnel all that success and energy into Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, which starts its inaugural season in the fall of 2023. Clarissa Chun sits down with us on this week's Fight for Iowa podcast in just a minute. We're sponsored by Athletico, Shields, and Iowa Corn.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
Oh, you know that old injury of yours? The one in your knee or maybe back? Instead of going to the doctor and then doing physical therapy, why not start with therapy first? Athletico Physical Therapy is changing the whole healing process around. Their physical therapists will find the source of your pain and help fix it. Start with them and start living pain-free. Just like that.
It all starts with Athletico Physical Therapy. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com. No prescription needed. Proud partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
As the newest member of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame and the first head coach of a women's wrestling program at a Power 5 conference school, Iowa's Clarissa Chun doesn't feel like a trailblazer. Chun observed she's the next in line of all the great female coaches and competitors who've preceded her.
That I've reaped a lot of opportunity because of the fight they fought for where women's wrestling is today in the U.S., So I am truly grateful for those women that came before me, and in my eyes, they're the true pioneers of women's wrestling. But then I am reminded that I am in my own way, So, and I take that on, and being here at the University of Iowa makes me feel that way as far as having the opportunity to have young student athletes here at the University of Iowa and, giving that opportunity back to them. So.
Well, and you also have to derive some self-satisfaction for all the hours, all the hard work that you've put in. You're wearing your United States Olympic team top, which looks spectacular, by the way, in red, white, and blue with the 4th of July right around the corner. But you have to feel some self-satisfaction for winning medals at the Olympic and world level. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely. Obviously, these incoming athletes want to compete in the black and gold and represent the University of Iowa, and that is first and foremost. They want to be able to win college national championships for the University of Iowa and, pursue their opportunity to make world and Olympic teams and win world and Olympic medals. So, yeah, I probably should have been wearing my Hawkeyes today. I need to get my hands on a polo, so that was my excuse for today, but I will, yeah.
The Hawk Shop will take care of you, I'm sure. So, we're only a year away from the debut season for Hawkeye Women's Wrestling, and that excites you as much as anything, but it's even though it's 12 months out, it's going to come on top. It's going to get here quickly.
It's coming fast. I've been here in Iowa for a little over 5 months, going on 6 months, and it's been flying by so fast. And I can't wait for the student athletes to get on campus and feel like we got a season going, even though, we're not in the season until fall of 2023. So I'm excited.
Let's talk about that first recruiting class. You've got 11 signed members to date anyway. And let's start with Manea Estrella and Naya Valencia. Manea is from Hawaii. she's certainly well decorated, as is Valencia, won the under 23, had a fall and a 10-0 decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited for these young two athletes. Nanea is transferring from Menlo College in California, and Nyla is coming from California. Both great student athletes, both qualified for the Senior World Team Trials in Coralville at the end of May. Nyla made the U23 World Team, so she will get to compete and represent Team USA / University of Iowa in October. And then Nanea got to made the U20 Pan American Championship team, so she'll represent Team USA / Iowa in July in Mexico. So both great athletes, and super excited to get to work with them on a daily basis.
You've got a transfer coming in, Sterling Diaz, young lady from Las Vegas, two-time world medalist. What are her strengths?
Yeah, actually, Sterling is not a transfer. Nanea is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Manea is. Sterling's a recruit, right?
Yeah, Sterling's a recruit. She's a two-time cadet world medalist at our lightest weight class, 101 pounds. And she is a great person, great energy. She's one that I've been around in the past, and she has that energy to pump up the team, so it's really exciting to have her part of the first Hawkeye team.
You have one Iowa signee to this date anyway, Ella Schmidt, I believe it is, from Bettendorf. Tell me about her.
Ella Schmidt's awesome, down the road, 45 minutes away from Iowa City. She made the U20 national team, so she took third at World Team Trials at her age group. She's great. She's been coming down and working with our Hawkeye Wrestling Club at times whenever she can get up, and she's just hungry to get better, and she'll be competing at high school nationals in the middle of July, so super excited for her. And I think she's excited to stay in Iowa and represent the black and gold. Growing up, she grew up watching the men's wrestling program. Her and her family were season ticket holders of the wrestling dual meets, and now she gets to be that D1, yes, and live it, collegiate athlete, and wear that black and gold, and have young girls look up to her as she battles it out on the wrestling mat.
What lies ahead with the year, your first year, your debut season, a little over a year away? What about the next 6 months? What's on the front burner?
Yeah, well, we didn't mention Kylie Welker. Maybe we have in the past. She's our first recruit. She is junior world champion, U23 world bronze medalist, and been on the senior world team. She's had an injury this year, so she didn't get to compete at her age group. She is hungry and ready to get here. But in the next 6 months, I'll say our athletes will come in. They're really excited to, one, starts get on campus, two, move into their dorms, and they're hoping for Peterson. So if anyone's out there that can make it happen for them, and they're excited to get gear. They're excited and nervous for the training, because I think they know, coming to University of Iowa, there'll become a lot of high expectations in the sense of what it means to be a Hawkeye, and so I think they're excited and nervous all in one. So I'm excited to get the team together and start the culture off strong. So
I sense the momentum you're building. Congratulations on a great start in that regard, and we'll look forward to another visit down the road in a few months, Coach. Thank you, and congratulations on the Hall of Fame. Well deserved.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's Coach Chun. We'll be back with more Fight for Iowa podcast in just a minute.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Iowa wrestlers Patrick Kennedy and Tony Cassiope claimed freestyle national championships in the under-23 age group at the recent World Team Trials in Geneva, Ohio. 3 more Hawkeyes, Abe Assad, Brennan Swafford, and Kobe Siebrecht, earned All-American honors. Kennedy and Cassiope, 2 key pieces of the Hawkeye roster for the season ahead, shined in this competition. Kennedy won his first 5 matches, outscoring his opponents by a combined 61-12, and then swept the best of 3 series over West Virginia's Peyton Hall 8-3 and 5-0 to claim the title at 74 kilograms. Heavyweight Cassiope was equally impressive, rolling through his field with a 7-0 mark, defeating Missouri's Zach Elam 11-4 and 13-2 in capturing his second consecutive U23 title. Hawkeye head coach Tom Brands wasn't surprised.
As advertised. That's what you do. You go to tournaments and you win them. So we got a lot of fanfare from that, but still a lot of work to do. And we're entering a optional training phase. In 100-degree weather, there's nothing better.
I knew that was coming. Summer is here. What's up for the rest of June? And I know you got wrestling camps July. A new school year will be here before you know it.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. It always is. We have camp starting. We have, one guy in that U23 team. Kennedy probably will not get the bid for the U23 team. There's some funny qualification processes if you were in the senior world trials, which we were not. But we still got to be ready. Biggest thing is we're looking forward to getting back in Carver Hawkeye Arena in November and December and January, February, and then we're going to the Big Ten Championships and then we're going to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the National. So it happens quick, as we all know.
Coach, Clarissa Chun named to the Wrestling Hall of Fame this past week. She's really hit the ground running here at Iowa, and she's making a big splash given the verbal commitments that she's received already for the program that starts next year in 2023.
Yeah, I think it's more than verbals, too. I think it's definitely where these women are coming on campus. This first year they won't have a real season, a regular season, but I'm sure in the coach's mind the real season is always starting yesterday. So there's development happening, and it's been awesome to see the progress, for sure. Hit the ground running, and she's gaining steam. So good for Iowa Hawkeye Athletics. We love it.
And speaking of coming to campus, you've got a new wrestling facility with which to promise future recruits that wrestling is king at the University of Iowa. Give us a facility update.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a labor of love. I've been saying that a lot lately. We became fundraisers in partnership with Gary Barta, in partnership with Center for Advancement Kevin Collins, Joe Conklin. We have great people, Sloan Tyler, and most importantly, we have great fans and donors, and they have stepped up and stepped up again and then stepped up again, and we haven't hesitated. There's going to be shovels going and dirt being moved, and that's what's exciting for me. This is overdue. It's needed. It's for the ages, well into the future, and it's going to be a huge enhancement for everything Hawkeye, not just wrestling. We're excited about it.
We talked about Clarissa's recruiting. How's your recruiting trail look these days?
We have guys right now. We have a bunch of guys down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, wrestling in a junior dual event. They're getting ready for their national championship. Some of those guys are on age group world teams. We're doing well. We love it. We just keep getting the next one. Keep chalking them up. That's what we do.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. Take care, bud.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's Coach Tom Brands, back with more Fight for Iowa podcast in just a minute.
More of the Fight for Iowa podcast after this.
Here we go. Exciting adventures await. Grab your bucket list and keep the fun going all summer long. Pitch a tent, grab a sleeping bag, and sleep as a family under the stars. Fire up the grill and host a backyard barbecue. Visit a local trail for a hike or a drive to a state park for an all-day family adventure. With all there is to do this summer, we encourage you to get outside and make new memories. Whatever you do this summer, Shields is right there with you.
This is the Fight for Iowa podcast. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Congratulations to former Hawkeye national champion wrestler Dan Holm, named to this year's Iowa Athletics Hall of Fame class. Holm won the 158-pound NCAA title in 1975, leading the Hawkeyes and coach Gary Kirtlmeyer to their first ever national championship. Holm, from the Chicago suburb of Libertyville, was a three-time All-American and led Iowa to back-to-back Big Ten crowns in 1974 and 75. Holm and the Hall of Fame class will be honored Friday night, September 2nd in Iowa City during Fry Fest. I'm Gary Dolphin. Thanks for tuning into this week's Fight for Iowa. And as always, go Hawks.
Hawkeye fans, remember to hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Once you become a Fight for Iowa podcast subscriber, you'll automatically receive the latest episodes of the Fight for Iowa podcast, the Hawkeyes Voice podcast, Hawk Talk replays, exclusive game day content, and more. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.